Welcome to the channel, everyone. Today, we are diving into the top 20 players for the 2024-2025 NBA season. Let us know who you feel should be added or deleted from this list. Let's get into it. Domantas Sabonis from Sacramento. If he didn't peak in the era of Jokic, Sacramento Kings big man Domantas Sabonis would be seen as one of the best playmaking centers of all time, as he's putting up 7 assists per contest over the past 4 seasons. That's no easy feat for a center. We've just become desensitized to it due to Jokic's utter playmaking brilliance. On top of the plus passing, Sabonis is also a monster rebounder, leading the league in nightly boards over the past 2 seasons at 12.3 and 13.7 respectively in 2022, 2023, and 2023-24. That's to go with being a great face-up scorer with solid post moves down low. Sabonis can hit jumpers or drive by slower-footed bigs, or beat up smaller defenders in the post for easy lefty finishes. The one area in which Sabonis is lacking is as a defender, as his quick first step doesn't translate to the less glamorous side of the floor on switches, nor does he protect the rim one iota, which has made it difficult for the Kings to play good enough defense to really contend for anything but a playoff spot in the West. For what it's worth, the Kings were 2.1 points per 100 possessions worse with Sabonis on the floor last season. Still, Sabonis is an all-NBA level center, even earning MVP votes over the past 2 campaigns, so Sacramento is almost certainly still glad it made the Tyrese Halliburton for Sabonis swap. 19. Ja Morant from Memphis. After missing basically all of 2023-24 due to suspension and then injury, stock and 2-time All-Star, Ja Morant couldn't be much lower heading into 2024-25. Even so, we believe he'll remain one of the best point guards in the league once he gets back out there next season. As Morant is just so explosive and energetic, he'll still be borderline unguardable once he gets back out there for the Memphis Grizzlies. In his last fully healthy season, the Murray State product averaged 26.2 points on 46.6% shooting to go with 5.9 rebounds, 8.1 assists, and 1.1 steals per game. Morant didn't get All-NBA honors in 2022-23, but he was an All-Star, and we think he'll get right back to that borderline All-NBA level in 2024-25. 18. Jaylen Brown from Boston. Now, that previous statement from the Mitchell section might not sound fair to a player like Celtics star Jaylen Brown, considering he just won a title with Boston and earned Finals MVP honors. But was he really the team's best player? After all, he didn't exactly have to carry the Celtics in the 2023-24 postseason, as Boston was a clear-cut above every other team in the league last year. Regardless, Brown had a fantastic 2023-24 season, silencing the naysayers who questioned the size of his contract, which was once the largest in NBA history. The fact Brown had a Finals MVP level run in the playoffs, after how the previous season ended for Boston, no less, makes his 2024 postseason run all the more impressive. Lest we forget, Brown averaged 19.0 points on 41.8% shooting, 16.3% from 3, to go with 3.4 assists to 3.6 turnovers in that 2022-23 Eastern Conference Finals series defeat against the Heat the year prior. So the fact he bounced back all the way to win a ring and a Finals MVP is borderline inspirational and speaks to Brown's mental fortitude. Along with playing elite defense, Brown put up 23.9 points and 5.9 rebounds on 51.6% shooting last postseason, helping guide Boston to its first championship since 2008. And for that, Brown, an elite two-way player with great off-the-dribble scoring prowess and fantastic athleticism around the rim, earned his spot in these rankings. 17th on our list is Donovan Mitchell from Cleveland. After signing an extension with the Cleveland Cavaliers this summer, despite so many rumors in prior seasons indicating that wouldn't happen, 5-time All-Star Donovan Mitchell enters the 2024-25 season with some good momentum after helping lead Cleveland to the second round of the playoffs last season. Mitchell once again had an explosive playoff run in 2023-24, at least prior to getting hurt and missing games 4 and 5 against the Boston Celtics, averaging 29.6 points, 5.4 rebounds, and 4.7 assists on 47.6% shooting from the floor. The Cavaliers won a tough 7-game series against the Orlando Magic to open the postseason before falling to the eventual champion Celtics. No big deal, but Mitchell ranked 7th all-time in playoff scoring average at 28.1 points per game. By the way, Mitchell, entering his age 28 season, is one of the best shooting guards in the NBA thanks to his deep shooting range from three and explosiveness around the basket. Can you win a championship with him as your best player? The Cavaliers apparently plan to find out. But even if you can't, in this NBA era, that's not abnormal, considering the shooting guard position isn't as loaded as it was during the Kobe Bryant, Dwyane Wade days. Among the players in this ranking, only Edwards seems like the type who can unquestionably be the best player on a championship team as a shooting guard. The other two guards in the league just aren't at that level, and that includes Mitchell. Sixteenth on our list is Devin Booker from Phoenix. Regardless of Edwards taking the mantle of best shooting guard in the NBA today, Devin Booker had a great 2023-24 season, averaging over 27 points per game and nearly 7 assists nightly, while being asked to be the Suns' star two guard, as well as their point guard a lot of the time, due to the team's poor roster construction. It's not like Booker no-showed in the playoffs either, as he put up 27.5 points, 6.0 assists, and 1.8 steals on 49.2% shooting against what was a very strong Minnesota team. Fifteenth on our list is Tyrese Maxey from Philadelphia, the reigning most improved player, Philadelphia. 76ers lead guard, Tyrese Maxey just missed out on all NBA honors in 2023-24, despite averaging 25.9 points, 6.2 assists, and 1.0 steals per game on 45.0% shooting. Maxey ranked as roughly a top 35 player in the league last season, according to VORP and BPM, helping the Philadelphia 76ers finish the season 47-35, despite being without then-reigning MVP Joel Embiid for much of the campaign. With Maxey still just 23 years old and coming off the first All-Star nod of his career, his lofty place in this ranking is based in part on rejection by us, as we fully believe he'll take another leap in 2024-25 thanks to his elite quickness, ability to get buckets off the dribble, and nail shots from deep beyond the arc. Stephen Curry from the Golden State Warriors. This may seem like a bit of a low ranking for superstar point guard Stephen Curry. After all, he's coming off third-team All-NBA honors, just won Clutch Player of the Year, was an All-Star, and put up over 26 points and 5 assists per contest on 40.8% shooting from three. But despite his impressive production, the Golden State Warriors missed the playoffs for the second time in the last 4 seasons. Plus, Curry's next season will be his age 36 campaign, so if we project a slight drop-off for the former 2-time league MVP and progression from other promising young point guards like Halliburton and Brunson, Curry's place on this ranking starts to make more sense. Even so, we expect Curry to remain among the elite of the position in 2024 to 2025 and challenge for all NBA honors once more. We just think that the next campaign might be a bit of a passing of the guard season in the point guard hierarchy in the NBA. LeBron James from the LA Lakers. What's there left to say about the player we recently declared the GOAT that hasn't been said so many times already? LeBron James' battle against Father Time going so well in his favor continues to be awe-inspiring, as he just finished with third-team All-NBA honors in his age 39 campaign to become the first player ever to receive an All-NBA distinction that old. It was very much deserved too, as James hit a career-high 41.0% of his triples on the season, while putting up a huge 25, 7, and 8 stat line. And despite his Los Angeles Lakers getting bounced in the first round of the playoffs in just 5 games, James went into the summer as Team USA's leader, ahead of a very important Olympic tournament, and more than stepped up, winning Olympic tournament MVP honors, despite this being the most talent-laden FIBA tourney in the sport's history. His game has just aged so well, as although he might have lost a touch of his alien-like athleticism from his youth, He's more than made up for it by playing a hybrid power forward point guard mix at the 3, by becoming a nearly elite shooter from TD, and by remaining an absolute load to stop once he has a head of steam heading to the basket. All in all, just enjoy the time we have left watching James. It might not be that much more, but what we do have left to see out of him should continue to be special. Tyrese Halliburton from the Indiana Pacers, the league leader in assists per game last season at 10.9 nightly dimes, to go with 20.1 points, 3.9 rebounds, and 1.2 steals. Indiana Pacers floor general Tyrese Halliburton looks like the best pure passing lead guard in the NBA right now. He's also more than capable of scoring 20-plus points on any given night, as was the case in 2023 to 2024, even with Halliburton having an uncharacteristically poor season shooting from beyond the arc. Over Halliburton's first 3 seasons, he shot 40.8% from 3, even despite his funky-looking jumper. In 2023 to 2024, that mark dropped down to 36.4%, which could very well have been injury-related. Even with the mediocre deep shooting marks, Halliburton helped lead Indiana back to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since 2013 to 2014, an incredibly impressive feat for the former Iowa State standout. Halliburton might not quite be in that MVP tier, but we fully expect him to have another All-NBA level campaign in 2024 to 2025. Kevin Durant, Phoenix. Now, unquestionably, the Team USA GOAT after becoming the first player to win 4 Olympic gold medals, while also becoming the program's all-time leading scorer. Phoenix Suns small forward Kevin Durant remains nearly at the top of his game. He placed in the top 10 in the MVP vote last season and earned second-team All-NBA honors. Durant is clutch, can get buckets over anyone, thanks to his otherworldly size and length for a forward, and is also a solid rebounder and playmaker. He's also as efficient as they come for a high-volume shooter, posting shooting splits of 52.3, 41.3, and 85.6 last season, despite so many of his shot attempts coming with an elite degree of difficulty. We're just hoping Phoenix's point guard acquisitions this summer help fix the Suns' rotation and position issues from last year, because few players are as fun to watch on a deep playoff run as Durant is, as evidenced by his 2 championships and 2 finals MVPs. Victor Wembanyama, San Antonio. Victor Wembanyama is special for so many reasons, particularly the fact he's 7'4", with a reported 8-foot wingspan to go with his unreal quickness for his size and otherworldly skill level. He at times resembles an even bigger Kevin Durant out there on offense, able to knock down shots on pull-ups, step-backs, and crossovers, all while defending at the level of Anthony Davis, a scary mix of 2 all-time greats. Wembanyama just became the first rookie in league history to earn first-team all-defense honors, and he was even getting shouts to earn Defensive Player of the Year in his inaugural campaign, giving us little doubt he'll eventually win that award. More than likely, multiple times. That's not the only major accolade we see Wembanyama winning in the future, as the French center has potential league MVP written all over him. He should be that dominant on both ends of the floor. He's got a great mentality too, really seeming to value winning over personal glory, as evidenced by his reaction when his French national team fell to Team USA in the gold medal game at the Olympics this summer. Anthony Davis, LA Lakers. Coming off the healthiest season of his career, based on games played, Los Angeles Lakers center Anthony Davis remains one of the best big men in the league, an absolute monster on both ends of the floor, thanks to his very unique quickness and his 6'10", 250-pound package. Davis possesses guard-like skills at his size, can face up and score on slower-footed big men, hit shots off the dribble, drive, and finish over anyone thanks to his unreal length, block shots at an elite rate, rebound extremely well on both ends, and even do some light playmaking. The former #1 overall pick has lived up to his draft billing and then some in his NBA career, and is another future Hall of Famer already on this list, which has been loaded with top-end talent so far. Speaking of which, Davis ranked as roughly a top 10 player in the league according to VORP, WS48, and BPM last season, and looks primed to take over the mantle for LeBron James and keep the Lakers in borderline contention whenever the four-time league MVP does finally decide to call it quits. Jalen Brunson from the New York Knicks. The star point guard had already shown signs of being a great player in 2022 to 2023. But in 2023 to 2024, the two-time national champion at Villanova proved that he's unquestionably an elite one. He finished in the top 5 in the MVP vote, led the Knicks to the second round of the playoffs, and earned second-team All-NBA honors. There may still be some discourse on whether or not Brunson can be the best player on a championship team, but considering his selflessness in taking less money now to sign an extension in New York, which will help the Knicks keep contending in the East for years to come, Brunson might be able to shut that talk down and prove it without a doubt in the coming seasons. Brunson's strong 2023 to 2024 regular season and his even more impressive playoff run, in which he averaged 32.4 points and 7.5 assists over 13 games, has us thinking big things for the soon-to-be 28-year-old in 2024 to 2025. Anthony Edwards from Minnesota. Who else but the highly entertaining, highly skilled, and explosive Anthony Edwards at number 7 on this list? The former number 1 overall pick has developed into the best shooting guard in the NBA, one who puts up huge numbers on a nightly basis, efficiently at that, and leads a Minnesota Timberwolves team that has turned into a contender. Edwards was the focal part of Minnesota's run to the Western Conference Finals this past season, averaging 27.6 points, 7 rebounds, and 6.5 assists on 40% shooting from 3 in the playoffs. That run included the Wolves knocking off the then reigning champion Denver Nuggets. All in all, Edwards is a spectacular player, a 3-level scorer with insane athleticism and length who plays with a tough mentality. He has an old-school flair to his game in that he'll let an opponent know when he's lighting him up, and he'll do so loudly. Without question, one of the most entertaining players in the game today, Edwards entered 2023 to 2024 as a potential contender to earn the best shooting guard in the game mantle, and ended the season as pretty much the consensus pick for that title. Jason Tatum from Boston, finishing 6th in the MVP vote last season, and with his 3rd straight first-team All-NBA nod, as well as with the first NBA championship of his career. Boston Celtics superstar Jason Tatum also somehow has the luxury of entering 2024 to 2025 with a chip on his shoulder, which for a player of his caliber can legitimately help provide a boost in the motivation department. That's because Tatum still has detractors after the excellent season, and some he just had. Those detractors will be quick to point out that not only did Tatum not win Finals MVP to cap Boston's 2023 to 2024 dominant championship run, but he also was very much a role player for Team USA, at times not seeing the floor at all for entire games as the Americans marched to their 5th straight Olympic gold medal. Regardless of the trolling, Tatum in our eyes will enter next season as the best small forward in the NBA, an elite scorer from all 3 levels, as well as a very good rebounder, playmaker, and defender with excellent size for the position. He may not have a Finals MVP yet, nor was he able to unseat the next 2 players on this list for minutes on Team USA this summer. But Tatum remains just 26 with so much of his prime left to go. Many more accolades are sure to come for the Celtics star. Joel Embiid, Philadelphia. Had Philadelphia 76er star Joel Embiid been healthier in 2023 to 2024, he might have been looking at a second MVP award in a row. His numbers in limited action were that impressive. Embiid led the league in scoring, though he didn't qualify for the scoring title due to games missed, while also posting 11 rebounds nightly, over 5 assists, 1 steal, and nearly 2 blocks per game. And he did that all while shooting almost 53% from the floor, 39% from 3, and facing opposing teams' best big man defender every night, even often staring at double teams. Those are the numbers a modern-day Wilt Chamberlain might be posting if his prime were taking place today. Embiid's had poor injury luck in his career, and he has not been able to step up in the playoffs to get Philadelphia past the second round yet. But there's no question, he's one of the greatest centers ever. Plus, for how much flack he caught for some of his play on Team USA this summer. The Americans very likely would have lost to Jokic's Serbia in the semifinal, if not for Embiid's 19 points on 8 for 11 shooting, which included multiple clutch fourth-quarter buckets in what was a tight game. He outscored Jokic in that outing, by the way, with 6 fewer shot attempts at that. That Olympic outing gives us hope Embiid could make a deep playoff run at some point, perhaps as soon as this year, if the replacement of Tobias Harris with Paul George by the Sixers is as impactful as it should be. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Milwaukee. The best power forward in the game and a player who'd be a first ballot Hall of Famer if he retired today, the Milwaukee Bucks' Giannis Antetokounmpo finished 4th in the MVP vote last season while earning first-team All-NBA and All-Star honors after putting up monstrous numbers once again. He now totals 2 MVP awards, 8 All-Star appearances, 8 All-NBAs, 6 first teams, 2 second teams, 1 Defensive Player of the Year award, and 4 All-Defensive first teams. Oh, and he already has an NBA championship and a Finals MVP under his belt too. Even at just 29 years old, we already rank Antetokounmpo as the 22nd greatest player of all time. And he'll have a great shot to be top 15 if his career continues at this pace, which we fully expect it to, considering he ranked 3rd in VORP, BPM, and WS48 league-wide just last season and hasn't shown any sign of decline. 2024 to 2025 should be another huge season for Antetokounmpo individually, though the Greek superstar will likely be hoping for more team success, which should be fully possible as last season's big addition, Damian Lillard, will be more acclimated to his new team situation. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Oklahoma City. Doncic finished 3rd in the MVP vote last season, as stated above. The player who finished 2nd in that very same vote, that was Canadian superstar Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who just had the best season of his career, putting up 30.1 points per game along with 5.5 rebounds, 6.2 assists, and 2.0 steals per contest on absurdly efficient 53.5% shooting from the floor. Gilgeous-Alexander has become one of the toughest players to guard in the NBA. Former Defensive Player of the Year, Marcus Smart actually believes he's tougher to defend than Doncic, and that's due to his mid-range shot-making prowess, his impossible-to-predict moves, his shiftiness, and his ability to draw fouls. He draws some ire from fans for that last thing, but it's impossible to deny how effective the Oklahoma City Thunderstar is at getting to the foul line and scoring easy points that way. Gilgeous-Alexander finished 2nd league-wide in WS48 last season, and with the way his game has progressed over recent seasons, and with how talented this current Thunder team is, he's another player who could very well be in line for his first career MVP award in the 2024 to 2025 season. Luka Doncic, Dallas. Luka Doncic ended up 3rd in the 2023 to 2024 MVP vote, the highest finish of his career, after leading the league in scoring at 33.9 points per game to go with 9.2 rebounds, 9.8 assists, and 1.4 steals per contest. He did that on 48.7% shooting from the floor and 38.2% accuracy from 3, the latter being a career best rate for him. Doncic finished 2nd league-wide in BPM and VORP, and post-trade deadline had Dallas looking like a full-blown contender. That wound up being true too, as Doncic led the Mavericks all the way to the NBA Finals through a crowded and tough Western Conference. All in all, the 25-year-old continues to somehow improve year over year, an even more impressive feat considering he's coming off of 5 straight first-team All-NBA nods. For the record, the only players to make first-team All-NBA 5 years in a row since the year 2000 are Doncic, LeBron James, Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kevin Durant, and Dwight Howard, putting Doncic in some very prestigious company. Out of that group, only Doncic and Howard have not or did not win MVP, and Howard made first team All-NBA so many times, in part due to how weak the center position was in the NBA at the time. So Doncic doing it in this loaded era, and while so young, is all the more notable. It would not be surprising in the least to see Doncic win the first MVP award of his career, now that he has the right supporting cast around him. Nikola Jokic, Denver. Unquestionably, the best basketball player in the world today. Denver Nuggets superstar Nikola Jokic is coming off a campaign in which he won his third MVP award in 4 seasons, in which he was named first-team All-NBA for the 4th time, and in which he was named an All-Star for the 6th time. Ultimately, Jokic wasn't able to lead Denver to a second championship in a row, but he did carry Serbia to a bronze medal in the Summer Olympics this offseason, so his year wasn't empty of team honor. We already ranked Jokic as a top 30 player in NBA history, and if anything, based on his accolades over the past 5 years, we might be underrating him, considering he has more MVP awards than a lot of the players just ahead of him on the list. Regardless, Jokic hasn't even turned 30 yet, so we're excited to see where he lands in our all-time player ranking in 5 years, based on how many more accolades he earns in his prime. The fact that Jokic's game is not predicated on athleticism much at all makes us believe we could be looking at a LeBron James-esque peak by the Serbian center, who can score, rebound, and create at elite levels. So there you have it, the top 20 players in the NBA today. Let us know what you guys think and leave a like and subscribe to the channel.